There is one local voice in the debate over whether the U.S. should negotiate with Iran. For 444 days, Jubilee, Iowa native Catherine Kobe lived as a hostage at the hands of young Iranian revolutionaries. Fox 28 News anchor Karen Fuller shares her story.
If you relive the act every day, you are held hostage every day of your life.
Catherine Kobe has every right to be angry. For more than a year, she was held captive in Iran.
I would say, well, I don't want to die. I've got a lot of living left to do, a lot of music to hear. I want to see my nieces and nephews grow up, but I am not afraid to die.
It was November 1979. Kobe's long career in foreign service brought her to Tehran as director of the Iran-America Society. Iranian students fighting to keep hold of their revolution against the government stormed the U.S. Embassy. Kobe manned the phones at the society 2 miles away, relaying the events to the State Department. But on that second day, she too was captured. Days passed and no release.
Every day was a plus in the sense that the longer it went on, the less chance there was of mock executions.
Kobe knew why the Iranians took the Americans.
They were absolutely convinced we were going to try and put the Shah back in power. They didn't want it. They were going to have to do something.
One rescue attempt failed, leaving 8 soldiers dead. A year passed, and she realized the gravity of her fate.
That day was not quite as bad as the following January 1, when we realized we had lost an entire calendar year, 1980. Simply was wiped out.
Kobe says she was never tortured or beaten in captivity, but the men suffered the brutality of the captors. She knew it could happen any day, so she turned to her Iowa values and her faith to help her survive.
For some of them, it's been very, very difficult. I've been very fortunate, again, partly because of my Iowa upbringing, but also because of the faith I was raised in.
In America, elections were being held. Jimmy Carter lost to Ronald Reagan. Kobe told her roommate they would never be free while Carter remained in office.
I said to Ann, we will not be released before inauguration. And she said, she looked at me, she said, and I said, they hate Carter too much to release us to Carter.
She was right.
This is a solemn and most momentous occasion.
The hostages were welcomed with open arms and a ticker tape parade.
The welcome home was phenomenal.
Kobe met both Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. Now, at 76, I asked Kobe her thoughts on the U.S. and UN Security Council members entering talks with Iran. Her answer may surprise you.
At least we're talking to each other. And if we're talking to each other, then maybe we can build some sort of new trust.
Kobe says because the talks include U.S. allies, the likelihood of a successful outcome is greater. You may wonder how she could have such a positive outlook. She credits her deep faith for allowing her to forgive without forgetting. She's written a book called Guests of the Revolution. It's available on Amazon.com. Karen Fuller, Fox 28 News.
Karen, thanks. We do want to welcome Karen to our Fox 28 News team and back to Iowa. Karen earned her degree from Drake University and worked in Des Moines and Mason City television markets. And I am looking forward to having Karen on the anchor desk with me every weeknight.